So Doom: The Dark Ages is out, and it's getting pretty awesome reviews. And I don't want to be a contrarian and come out and say that it's awful or that I dislike it, but I really didn't enjoy it. So I thought I'd make a review video talking about that experience, because if you haven't gotten already, you're probably on the fence or waiting for a sale and trying to decide, when do I buy this? Is it worth paying, a 10% discount, 50% discount? And that's what I really want to make a video addressing. And maybe the game just isn't made for me. Maybe that's why I'm not enjoying it, is because it's just not, I'm not the target audience, and that's okay. Games don't have to be made for me, but I thought I'd share my experiences for people who are on the fence. Now, I'm a diehard Doom fan. I've been playing since the original Doom. I have series on my YouTube channel you can see where I've been playing Doom WODs and going back and experiencing original Doom WODs and edited Doom, and I love the Doom mods. I enjoy everything Doom, so it was a no-brainer to get this as soon as it came out. Now, just a quick note, all the footage you're going to see is at the game at its max speed. I haven't used like any post-editing speeding it up. I'm just using the in-game options. When I was playing around with difficulty, one of the options was to make the game faster. I wanted to try that out, so that's what you're going to see here. And you're going to see me die a lot because of it, because I am not good enough to play on this skill level. So what is it about the new Doom that I don't like? Because at its core, it's the same thing Doom has been, right? You run around, you find where the demon hordes are, you fight big hordes of demon, you do a little bit of puzzle platforming, then you fight the next horde of demons, so on and so forth. That is Doom at its core. You're running from area to area, taking out large swarms of demons, and finding secrets and goodies in between. That hasn't changed. That is still the core of what Doom: The Dark Ages is, the same as Doom Eternal and the Doom reboot. The first thing I don't like is the music. Now, Mick Gordon, as far as I know, did not come back for this one, and I'm not going to get into that whole controversy and drama. Simply, I think the music feels a little soulless and a little lifeless, and in fact, the strangest thing that surprised me is the music by default is way too quiet. Like, you almost don't even hear the music unless you go in the settings and options and increase the music to maximum. And yes, it's the heavy Doom stuff you're used to, like, yeah, it's got some heavy bass and it's got some riffs in it, but it doesn't feel the same. I'm going to play this one track for you while I was in a fight and compare it to, like, say, original Doom. So yeah, like, it's heavy, but compare that to... or perhaps equally iconic as... and I think you'll see that clearly there is no comparison. Like, those other two are so legendary, and this current soundtrack is just so lifeless and generic. Speaking of lifeless and generic, we need to talk about the shield and the parry system. On paper, the shield is the coolest thing ever. Chainsaw shield, like, yes, please give us more chainsaw shield. That is the coolest idea ever. But what it quickly becomes is just this gimmick that you have to use, and I know that there's been some bad reviews where people obviously didn't have, quote, the skill to master the new systems, and that's not the case here. I've already said up front that I'm playing on a higher difficulty than I need to, that's why I'm dying, but I could still play the game and I still could enjoy what it was. What I didn't enjoy is that all these fights became the same thing, in that they would give you a swarm of like filler enemies that really don't do a whole lot, but then you would get the one big enemy, and the only way to really take him down is to hit the giant glowing green thing that he shoots at you, and it becomes like this volleyball dance revolution where it's like, okay, I'm dodging things, I'm pressing all the right buttons, and then I'm parrying the right ability, and it got so old so fast. I'm not playing volleyball. I don't want to knock the green balls back and forth until I take down the enemy. I want to shoot him with cool weapons and run around listening to awesome music, and I just feel like Doom has denied me that experience in the new one. Now, they do try and break this up a little bit and make you play as like the Doom Slayer on some sort of dragon thing, or the Doom Slayer in a mecha robot, to give you kind of a break from the usual gameplay, and I can appreciate that they were trying to shake it up a little bit, but both of those segments I also hated. I don't want to play as Mecha Doom Slayer. I have no interest in the giant robot. I want to play as the Doom Slayer and to have these really cool looking giant robot scenes, but all you do is mash the right trigger until the enemy is gone. That just, it felt so soulless, so meh. Like, they're trying to sell it to you on the cool factor alone and not on actually like any gameplay mechanic with it. And same thing goes for the sections where you're on the Fire Drake, the Wyvern Drake, whatever they called it. Like, okay, this is a cool idea, but what it boils down to is, okay, now I'm on a flying creature and I just have to parry things because they love the parry mechanic in this game until it goes down. It's the same thing as the rest of the game, just now you're flying. Like, cool in concept, but really boring execution. And I really feel like that's how the entirety of the Doom game can be reviewed, is that it's a cool concept and the execution is just so poor because everything just is this, right? Okay, dodge, dodge, parry, dodge, dodge, parry, dodge, dodge, parry. It gets old after a little bit. I made it to chapter 8 of 22, so there's still more game for me to play, but I've honestly lost any will to continue the game because I know it's just going to be the same thing going forward. I'm just going to meet new enemies who have to parry the green balls they throw at me until I can knock them down, and it feels like a cheap competitor to Doom. It doesn't feel like Doom. Now, I will say there are some things that they did absolutely right that I'm really happy with, so I don't want to just be negative and say, oh, the whole thing is terrible. There's some great experiences to be had in here. One of my favorite things is the difficulty menu. As I said, again, I cranked up the difficulty just to see what it's like, but the ability to really customize your experience and say, okay, I want the game to be faster or slower, I want the enemies to be more or less aggressive. There are a lot of options in there, so you can really customize how difficult the game needs to be, and I really appreciate that for people who want a very fine-tuned experience instead of just like, oh, I want hard or easy. No, you can really customize it in between those two things. I really feel like they did a great job on giving the Doomslayer some weight. He feels like this unstoppable walking tank, arsenal, monster, whatever you want to call him. He definitely has like that chunky boy feeling to him, and I really like that. In a lot of Doom games, you feel like you're really floaty, you feel like you're really fast running around, like, yes, I'm a super soldier, but now you feel like a super soldier tank, and that's a good feeling. I like that they gave you like the really cool flail. The flail was a cool concept to go with the shield. I really like that. I like some of the weapon upgrades, like being able to use your shotgun to set things on fire. Really cool concept. I like that. What I don't like is the story. I don't care about the story, and you're not supposed to care about the story. This is Doom. John Romero, the creator, even laid it out saying you expect the story to be there, but no one really cares. I don't care about the story. That's not what Doom is about for me. So I really feel like I'm wasting my time with all the story. I know there's a lot of game critics out there like, oh, this game sucks because I didn't pay attention to the story, I can't understand it. The thing is, Doom's not supposed to have a story. I know that's going to get a lot of hate, but that's just fact. I also am not a huge fan of the secrets in this game. Now, again, don't get me wrong, I love secrets. Doom is all about the secrets, finding the hidden secrets. That is 100% Doom. I don't mind secrets, I want there to be secrets. But I feel like half the secrets boil down to upgrades to your weapons, and your weapons just don't feel as good without those upgrades. Like, I was missing gold left and right, and that I don't like, because that feels mandatory. It feels like it's mandatory to find the secrets. The secrets are supposed to be like cool little Easter eggs or extra armor or extra health, or maybe you get a weapon a little bit earlier than you usually would. Not actually like necessary gun upgrades. There's a big difference between those two, and I don't appreciate that they basically made secrets mandatory. So overall, I paid nothing for this game, right? It's on Game Pass, Day 1 Game Pass, and I appreciate that. I really love Game Pass. If you haven't gotten the game already and you're on the fence, and you're not sure after listening to this if you're going to enjoy it, I would either A, get it on Game Pass and pay just the $20 for that, or I would wait for one of the like 50% discounts. It won't be for a little bit, but I guarantee in a year, like you can get the Doom 2016 Doom Eternal for like $5 now. So you can definitely wait a little bit longer and you'll probably get this game for 10 or $20. And that's probably going to be a good price point for it. I've got about 8 to 10 hours in it. And I just, like I said, I have no will to want to keep playing it. I've seen some other reviews. People say they beat it in about 25 to 28 hours with everything. So $20 for 30 hours of entertainment is not a bad price. Overall, with the music and the gameplay loop, I would give the game probably around a 5 or 6 out of 10. It's nothing special. It's just firmly like, meh. It's not for me, and it's kind of repetitive. The music is anything to write home about. The graphics are great. It looks phenomenal. So I just put it in the meh category. As always, I appreciate you hearing me out, and I know in the comments down below you'll tell me how I'm wrong and this is an absolute masterpiece. If you're going to do that, back it up with a little bit of proof. Don't just say I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Other than that, have a blessed day and thank you for watching.